It's only game. Why you have to be mad?
What is up, heroes of Dominion? My name is Charlie. This is Hero War Central, and in today's video, I want to talk about 3 myths, 3 questions, something like that, that a lot of players are having about Lyria. And we're going to start off with, does the Undead team beat the meta team? And yes it do. Yes it do. You have Corvus, Morgan, Lyria, Kira, and Sebastian. It seems like it does pretty well against this line in particular. You know, I don't know what pet you want me to use here and there. I know that some people use Biscuit and Mara and, Merlin, and there's Axel, and, there's a lot of variations on this. And while it doesn't really matter too much specifically because the team on the left is just going to get better and better, we gotta just say blanket that there is an Undead team that can beat Dante, Orion, Augustus. Now, should you build this Undead team? No, you shouldn't. Also, yes, but no, you shouldn't. First of all, if you like Undead, Corvus, Morgan, Lyria, Kira, do it. Absolutely do it. The problem that you're going to run into with this team is that it may not be that great versus other current meta teams like Julius teams or Amira Heidi teams or Iris, Dorian, Heidi teams. Although with Corvus, probably do okay against Heidi, right? Just because a team is really good against one line. And yeah, it's the most popular line in the game right now. Dante, Nebula, Orion, Augustus. This one is Aiden. I guess I should have tried the Dorian version. Maybe I should try the Dorian version and see if it's any different. Yeah, even though it works against this team, doesn't mean it's going to work enough for it to be good enough for it to be your first team. Now, it's a good line regardless of how you think about it. You have tanks, you have damage dealers, and you kind of have a healer in Morgan. And sometimes kind of having a healer is enough. You can definitely level up a few healers. You need Martha, you need Aiden, you need Dorian, Thea. There's a couple of healers that you could swap in and out of here to make a difference. And that's really what it comes down to in the end, is having options. So, can an Undead team beat the meta teams? Yes, it is doable. You just got to find the right line. The problem is this team on defense just kind of falls over to a lot of stuff. But that's kind of how defenses are also. Now, the next thing is the conversation about Sebastian. Does Sebastian remove this aura? And this aura is the big deal, right? This Shackles of Doom is kind of a big deal. From what I understand, this is how strong the skill gets at the current available max. It's like a 5-star. You can max Lyria. You can get her pretty high. I almost have her at red 3. I've got her skin maxed. I don't have her glyphs maxed. I don't have her artifacts quite maxed. And you can't get a 6-star. Oh, my ascension isn't maxed either. But this image has been shared around a bunch. You can see 20,000 dodge reduction. It's a lot, all right? That's a lot. Once you add in a pet like Fenris, you add in the physical attack pattern for your flag, you add in the dodge reduction pattern for your flag, you add in a new skin that she's getting in the event here on the 12th here in a few days, and then you add in like Nebula or another physical attack artifact weapon. Of course, that's kind of offset by a dodge artifact weapon on the other side. Once you start stacking that up, you're looking at potentially 25 to 30k dodge reduction. But the question, of course, is how can this be countered? And this inevitably leads to the question, does Sebastian or other heroes like Nebula or Celeste, do they counter the aura? And the answer, I believe, is no, but let's go ahead and test it. So we're going to throw in some, so the point of this is to see if any of these heroes, and then we'll try to narrow it down. We'll see if any of these heroes can actually, remove the aura here. Let's do, I don't know. Let's just put Astaroth out front. That's fine. So the idea is this aura is part of the battlefield. It's not a casted ability. It's not a targeted ability. So Celeste's, the Sebastian does not remove it. It's still there, right? Whenever Celeste goes from, the little spirits are so cute, by the way. When Celeste goes into light form, she can cast this ability that removes debuffs and stuff like that. Nebula has this ability that also removes debuffs, and you can see that the aura on the field persists. All right, so the question, can Sebastian, Nebula, or Celeste remove the anti-dodge aura? I don't believe that she can. I don't believe that any of them can. And I believe that maybe in the future something will change. A new hero will be added, of course. I have an idea on who that might be. But as of right now, I think the answer is pretty much no. Now, another question that a lot of people have is about the location of Lyria, the size of the aura, and how it is impacted by her position, all of that. Discuss this a little bit, but you can see that she's here in the second position. Okay, the second position. We've got 4 undead allies, and you can see that it appears as though it's catching that 4th position. Now, I'm not clear if Augustus is included here. It's hard to do fights like this to see if he can dodge. Like, that's actually what you're trying to prove, is can he dodge? And if he can dodge, then, the 4th position is, not in this aura. You have to, I'm sure that there's some way to test it, but it appears for certain that the first 3 locations are included there. Now, I also, I've got a team with Cleaver. Okay, so if we go with Cleaver instead of Corvus, you can see that the aura size does advance out a little further. So it looks like 3 undead allies with Lyria is enough to potentially get that 3rd position, and 4 undead allies, it appears, is enough to get that 4th position, at least with Lyria in the 2nd position. If she's further back, it might impact that, but I don't think it does. Maybe I should test for that real quick, but it's hard to do that. It's hard to get undead allies in front of her. Right. And then we have another screenshot that I want to show you. Lyria is in 1st position with 3 undead allies. Okay. 1st position, 3 undead allies. And it appears, you can see the aura is kind of below Orion here. It still appears that with 3 undead allies, you get Orion there, right? It looks like at least that you do. Now, the thing is, let's go back to those fights that we looked at. As Lyria uses her spirit summoning abilities, and as Morgan summons little baby skeletons, those are considered undead allies. The size of the aura can be increased if it's not at max, but I believe, so you can see that Morgan just used her ult, and we're deep into the enemy lines. There is some enemies dead on the other side. It's hard to say with the timing and everything how it actually ends up. I think that the max size of the aura is still 4 heroes. So if you're attacking a team, you can get a dodge hero in the 4th position only if you have 4 allies. But you can have 2 allies, and one of them be Morgan, and she summons some baby skeletons, because those skeletons, and I believe, and I'm not 100% certain on this, and here we go, the army, undead skeletons, it says specifically there, undead skeletons, but if you look at Lyria, I don't know that her spirits are classified as undead spirits. They're just called vengeful spirits, so I'm not actually sure about that. So there you go. Now, a big question that a lot of people have going forward is, what is going to come from Dante? Is he just dead? Is Aurora dead? Is Qingmao dead? No, absolutely not. We go into great detail as to why that's not the case on the video that's on screen now. Dante, Qingmao, Aurora, all the dodge heroes are still worth leveling. You might need to change up your strategy long-term a little bit, but still, if you got a little bit of time and you want to learn more about dodge and why Lyria actually doesn't matter that much, check out the video that's on screen. I love you all. Good luck in Dominion.